What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel for another day. So today my wheel bearings went out in my truck, so we're gonna be replacing those so I can go to work tomorrow and drop Wee Man here off at daycare. Ain't that right, buddy? So anyways, we are going to be, like I said, replacing the wheel bearings, both the inners and outers. I'm gonna walk you guys through it. Some of the stuff you're gonna need grease, and you're gonna want some gloves to pack the bearings with the grease. Other than that, you'll just need some basic tools. Take your wheel off, take your brake caliper off and the desk cap off, and take the axle nut off, and the rotor assembly and the hub assembly should come right off, and then that should get you to the bearings right there. There might be a little seized in there depending on how long you drove with them being out or whatever, or they just might be in there pretty good. So there might be a couple tricks we have to do to try to get that bearing off there, but you know, hopefully not. But we'll get that out of there and we'll get the new ones. I got the wife going to get them right now. So anyways, with that being said, like I said, you come here and you can check. It's got lots of play in it, and then the other side's not half as bad, or about half as bad. It's not god awful, so we gotta do both sides. Hopefully it doesn't rain or get too dark and I can get it done. Already got the truck jacked up, so I'm gonna come over here, I'm gonna get the camera set up, and I'm gonna grab some of my tools and basically get started. Alright, what is going on? Okay, so we had the wheel off now, right? So we're gonna take the dust cover off. The axle nut should be a 32 mil, maybe a 34. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's definitely one of those two sizes. Then there's two Allen keys for the caliper. We're gonna take the caliper itself off. The caliper mount is part of the spindle, so we just have to take the caliper off. We're gonna hang it up on top of our control arm, and then we're gonna go from there and pull the hub off, pull the bearings out, etc. But you can tell here, right, got some pretty decent play right here. Nothing too crazy, just enough to be noticeable for sure, make some ground sounds. So we're gonna go ahead, like I said, and replace those. So we'll cut to the chase for that, and sorry for having to use this little itty bitty mic right here. I can't find my shotgun mic for the top of the GoPro for this portion of the filming. We're still trying to unpack the house and everything, so bear with me on that. Thank you. So we got the hub off and the inner and outer wheel bearing. The inner wheel bearing is a smaller bearing. So this is your inner bearing, and this is your outer bearing. Right here, this little itty bitty guy, if I can get it off my glove. Right here. Okay. They're both very different size. They're both tapered bearings. So this is the side with the new hub. And then, so that's the seal. I got 2 new seals. That's the bearing that I just reused the bearing and I replaced it. I should have just replaced it as it's clearly out. So, you know, I'm just going through here, basically just checking the spindle, making sure everything checks out as I'm working my way around, making sure there's no grooves or worn out spots throughout the spindle. And then we're going to put new bearings on and retighten everything up. And the trick that I was talking about is you thread on your axle nut a little bit, and then you put your hub over it, and then you kind of work it back and forth to get the seal off and the bearing off, since you're already replacing the bearing anyway, so you don't really care about the bearing. But the seal is kind of hard to get out, and that's the best way to do it. So that's what we did to get the seal out, and basically ready to put the new bearings on. When they get here, I'll show you guys how to pack those. Alright, so we have our new seal, we have a new outer bearing, and a new inner bearing. So first things first, we already checked this, we've gone through here, everything looks good, everything feels great. Alright, you're going to want gloves for this next process. So I'm going to go grab the grease right off the toolbox real quick, and then walk you through this. I have an extra set of gloves for after I grease them. I can take the gloves off and then I can install them without getting grease completely everywhere. It is a messy job, so I would not wear anything nice, and I will tell you this, you'll have grease in your bathroom somehow, and your kitchen, and on your couch by the end of this. But it's not too bad. So let me go grab that grease real quick, and then I'll show you guys how to pack these bearings. So I got our lovely grease gun with grease. We're gonna sit here and pump a bunch of it in our hands essentially. Just keep on pumping. You're gonna want a lot of it because you're gonna pack 2 bearings. Alright, so got a good glob of it right here, just like so. Gotta take our inner bearing first. Alright, we're gonna pull it out of the box. Pull the wrapping. Be cautious. So there's a race right here. Okay, that is technically like there's a race on the inside of this one. I'm not going to replace the race because the race actually feels completely fine. I think I just had this side a little loose, and that's the problem. But you know, it never hurts to do new bearings. Also, it's really complicated to get that out of there. Like I said, mine feels perfectly fine and it looks fine, so I'm not going to be too worried about it. But alright, right here, you're basically just going to take it, you're going to pick a side, you usually go with the back side a little bigger, and you're going to take an edge, and you're just going to keep stuffing it in the bearing like so until the grease comes out the other side of the bearing. All you're going to do is all the way around. You're going to see it kind of start to poke out. And it's okay if it gets like on the inside. You want to put grease on it anyways before you put it on. So it's going to be okay if it gets grease on it before you install it. Because like I said, you're going to want to put grease on it in there anyways. So you're just going to keep going. And eventually you'll see grease coming out the top side in the one spot. So keep going. And then you can see right there where it's starting to come in between the roller bearings, and that's what you want, but you're going to do it all the way around, and it's a pretty long process, so be ready to sit there for a while packing grease. So next we packed our inner bearing. We have our seal here. We're going to this black rim. So it's gonna look like a dish on one side and it's gonna look like a plate on the other. You want the dish down and the plate out. So your smooth top is gonna go up when you have your hub facing down. You're just gonna push it in there, and then you're gonna take a hammer. You don't need anything crazy, and just slightly tap that in there in a perfect circle. Just go all the way around, work it in there. It can be kind of a turd to get in there, but it will go. You don't want to hit it too hard. A mallet would probably be a little bit better, but I don't have a mallet, so this is what we're gonna work with. All right, now that that's in there, we're gonna take this nut off, this axle nut. Put it in our little dust cover, and then we're gonna pick our hub up. We're gonna put our hub back on, and then we'll put the inner bearing on, and then screw the nut back on. And that'll be this side, besides basically just re-bolting up the caliper and putting on the wheel. This is what the gasket or the seal will look like on the outside. Like I said, flat part, this outer flat. On the other side, it's dished. You're gonna want that there. Don't put any grease on this black seal. Right? You don't want it to. You put any grease on it, it'll kind of leak past the grease, or anything will leak past the grease. All right. So then we're just gonna slide it on here, and then put everything together.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out.
Alright, so that's what it'll look like. You just have to put your lock nut, which has these little tabs I forgot to tell you about, that you're going to push back down. You're going to use a screwdriver to lift them up as they lock down on the threads. And you'll put that back on there and the cotter pin in it, and then it's done. And you want it to be able to free spin, but you don't want to be able to do this and it keeps spinning. You want it to stop. See how when I let go it stops? And then no more back and forth play anymore. Up and down or side to side, which is exactly how you want it. And like I said, when you're pushing it, you want it to feel a touch of resistance, very little. Well, not like about that much, like a 2 on the 1 to 10 scale. And when you push it, immediately stops when you let off. All right, just give it a good push and see how it goes, like just a little bit after I let off. That is all the play you want for this. So that is how you do your wheel bearings, that's how you pack them, and that's how you replace them. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side, and that'll be sorry, I'm a little bit on the sick side, but that's all you want to do for your wheel bearings, and that'll be it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this right back together, and that'll be wheel bearings for a 2nd gen Dodge 3500 2-wheel drive. Alright, so we have the wheel back on and everything is complete. Luckily I had the wife come out here. She came out here on her own wheel, and she helped me pack some the wheel bearings to make this side go a little bit faster. But we have it on. There is no more play in it, which I showed when I put the hub back on, as before it had the up and down play. So that is the passenger side done. I'm gonna go ahead and move to the driver's side, and that'll conclude kind of the video for now, or this part of the truck. This weekend or potentially next weekend, I'm going to be doing the sway bar end links for you guys, and that way you guys can look forward to the next content. Don't forget to go to the channel, like, subscribe, comment down below, see what you guys think. I'd like to hear what you guys like to see next for me to do this truck. I'm always here for more. And go ahead and go to the link right here in the description, also down below, for any merch that you guys would like to purchase. And that'll be all. Y'all have a good day.